All right. Good afternoon. This is Phil from PDQ Merch Enterprises and the ATM Mastermind Group page. And we're going live on our last live of the year. We will be not doing a live for next month. And then we're going to start up again in January. Let me look at the date. I think believe it's January 15th, but I want to double check. Yep. It'll be January 15th, 2024. We'll be starting going live again. We go live every other week on Monday night at 6 Central Time. That's 6 Central Standard Time, where we have basically talk about the ATM business. We have items that people ask about, and we have a discussion. So today, what we're going to talk about is, okay, how do I, what action items should I be doing to prepare my ATM business for the end of the year, for 2024 or the next year? What we do as a company, what you guys, might think about doing, and see how that comparison, just give you guys an idea. Basically, at the end of the year, every year, it starts in November for me. Is in November, I start taking a hard look at the business as overall. What do? We usually do, that's when we start doing employee reviews. We start planning what things worked. We take an evaluation of what things worked this year, what things didn't. What do we got to go deeper in and do a little bit more? What things we got to cut out and look at, and just basically do a self evaluation. And then that's where I also, for myself, I also set personal goals, family goals, spiritual goals, faith-based goals in that time. Look at, again, what worked, what didn't, and then we start that process. So in the business world, for the ATM business, this is where I also start the process of looking to see what worked. And then, so we're going to talk about 2 or 3 items today. And then we're going to go, like we always go into, then we're going to go in our student section. We do a Zoom call for our students right after this live, and we catch up, the kind of like a check-in accountability call, so to speak. We also talk, go a little deeper into this subject. So if you guys are interested, maybe in the 2024 season of getting into the ATM business, we have a program that helps you get into the ATM business, teaches you everything there is to know, basically from A to Z, how to get in the ATM business. We also sell ATMs, process transactions. We help find locations for some of you guys who are struggling with finding locations. We also have a service that does that for our students. So just to let you guys know. And okay, so we're going to start off. One of the things, and I do want to talk about this, is at the end of the year, you will have to, if you're in the ATM business, you have to send a 1099. It's an NEC to your customers if they made $600 or more. Now, if they made $600 or more, you're going to send them a 1099 NEC. That will have to be out by January 31st of the year. So you'll have to evaluate your customers to say, okay, well, how much did they make? And then send those 1099s out to them by the end of the year, just to let you guys know. It's one of the things that we have to do as an ATM business owner, is we have to do that every year to report the money that we made. Now, if we don't do that, then that income now becomes our income, and then you'll get taxed on it. But so the way to not get taxed on income is send them over a 1099 NEC. That way, if you ever get questioned by the state or the federal government, you can say, look, you have proof that you didn't make that money. It was a commission. All right. We like to, let's see, how do I do 1099s for our location? How do we do 1099s for our location? I've never done it before. Okay. So all you do is you evaluate, Ernie, all you do is evaluate how much money you made on on Switch Commerce, there is an end of the year analysis, or you can call here. I can show you how to do it. It's not very hard to do. Then you take this is why when I tell you guys to sign up a location agreement, make sure they give you a 1099. So you get that 1099, and sorry, you get that W-9, and then now you can send them a 1099 at the end of the year. So on Switch Commerce, if you guys are on Switch Commerce, there's a special section that you can just go to that, and it'll tell you how much you made up until this year. If you don't have Switch Commerce, if you have any of the other platforms, you can just run a transaction summary report, and it'll show you how many transactions you did, and then you could send that. You can calculate how much you pay them every month or per transaction, and then you can calculate that. So that's one of the things you want to do in January. So Ernie, if you want to call here, if you can't find it on Switch Commerce, you want to call, we can talk you through. Any of the Kendall or Kelsey can tell you how to do it. If not, then I can show you how to do it. It's not very hard. All right. So that's one of the things that you want to do starting basically first week in January. Try to get it out of the way. Actually, our bookkeeper helps us do that. But if you guys don't have a bookkeeper, it's one of the things that you want to do is to get that done. All right. The other thing what I do is I look at I purge, basically I try to purge like the bottom 20% of the ATMs, of the ATM route. What I do is I look at my route and say, okay, how did these locations do? Now, I don't do that for, let's say if I just started in a location in the last 2 or 3 months, I leave those out. It's the locations that I've been in there for 6+ months. They're not performing to my liking. I don't like how many transactions they're doing. So if they're on the borderline of stay or go, I might go to a location owner and say, look, you know what? We have to reevaluate your commission structure. I can't stay here if we continue with the commission structure. A couple things were supposed to happen that didn't happen. Sometimes they say they're going to open up hours. They never opened up. Sometimes they say they're not going to accept credit cards. They continue to stay credit cards. So those kind of situations are what I look at, and then I'll make that evaluation. But sometimes even if we get 100% of the surcharge, it's not going to make a difference. So we look and we pull those ATMs. I used to leave a lot of those locations in a location, but what happens, what I found out is from time to time, I pick up a location. I might pick up 2 or 3 in a given amount of time, and it becomes harder to go out, talk to that owner, get that ATM out. That whole process takes longer. So I always want to have 1 or 2 ATMs readily available, at least for us. So when I don't have any, then I go and I have those conversations. I bring those ATMs in-house, get them all cleaned up, and then ready to go. It's easier for me to do it that way. I used to leave them in, let's call it warm storage, but it's not working out because I can't move that fast. I have to go to the location. Things go sideways a lot of times, and it doesn't work. So when we have a little bit of downtime, what I do is I go pull those ATMs, and then we bring them in, clean them up, and then we always have 1 or 2 ready to go. Just because we work with locators, we work with finders, and people call us all the time and say, hey, you put an ATM over here, and we got to be ready to go. I talked to a liquor store owner the other day. It's filling a location. I said, hey, do you have any of your cousins or anybody open up? He's like, yeah, we do. He's like, and I said, okay, thank you. He gave me the number. One of the things he said, you know what I liked about you? He said, before it was my cousin who recommended me to you. He's like, I called you. He gave me the number. I called you on Monday, and on Wednesday you had the ATM in here. I said, yeah, because we act fast. And he said, yeah. He said, that was great. He said, we looked for a guy before I talked to my cousin for 3 months. We couldn't find anybody. I called you, and inside a couple of days it was in. So, but the reason we were able to do this because I had an ATM available, and the reason I had an ATM available because we had a location didn't cut the mustard, and we could put that in. So, just to let you guys know, that's one of the things we do is we look at the locations. Did it work? Did it not? If it didn't, get it off the route, get it into our warehouse, clean it up, get it ready to go, so we can move fast and act fast. that that always helps out when you can act fast. All right. Let's see. Okay. What else? All right. So, and then I want to develop one of the other things I want to do is I want to develop, hey, what's the strategy this year for finding locations? All right. So, um, this year I worked real hard on creating locators or finders. Let's call it finder. Here's the difference. A locator is somebody who works in maybe another part of the country or another country who cold calls into the locations that you're talking about and that you want the geographic area that you want to go with, and they cold call and they find you, let's call it warm leads. Sometimes those leads are rock star and all you got to do is put the ATM in. Sometimes it takes a little bit of time. You have to go to the location, you got to talk to the owner. That's a whole process. That's what I call a locator. A finder is somebody you created. A finder is however you created it. Maybe it's a buddy, maybe it's a pal, maybe it's somebody in a different industry that is in front of your customers. That's a finder. So this year I worked. I had one finder, a friend of mine. He's no longer with us. Passed away almost in 20. Where are we at? We're in 23. At around Christmas time at 22, I wanted to find somebody that was just like him. And you know what we found? Actually, somebody found us and said, "Hey, I can help you." I work in the security cameras. From time to time, somebody might need an ATM, and I said, "Great, I could be your guy." So they found us, and they're going to refer business to us. So that was another person that we could add to the mix for ATMs. So that was that. That's one of the things. And the other thing that I did is I'm going around to a lot of our customers and asking them, "Hey, what, do you have any cousins, brothers, sisters, whoever, anybody, a friend is going to open up a convenience store, liquor store, gas station, bar, restaurant? Let us know because we want to go and take advantage of that." So that's one of the other things we do. Then another thing we did is we looked at, because we do mobile events. So what we did is we looked at, did we make any money in this mobile event? Did we not? Now, what I do on a mobile event is I don't charge the first time somebody calls us up and says, can you provide a mobile ATM for us? What we say is, you know what, I will. The first year I'll do it. A lot of the time, mobile events are they're like one of three things. They're the city doing a fundraiser. The city is doing an event for the city, whether it's the fireworks or they're doing Founders Days or they're having a concert. Usually a city will put on an event. The other two people are the Chamber of Commerce and the Rotary. Those, or maybe it's United Way, but what they're doing is they're doing fundraising for their whatever. If it's a chamber, it's whoever. So we will do the first time. Maybe it's a football, maybe it's the local. It could be really anybody, but they're doing fundraising. So they'll come to us and say, "Hey, we want an ATM. We're a cash only fundraising event." They'll tell me the numbers, and if it's not for me, if they don't have 5,000 people coming into that event, then it's not going to be worth it. I'm going to say 100 out of 100 times. It's very rare that they have an event that doesn't have 5,000 where we can make any money. But so I'll tell them, "Look, here's our deal is I'll do it the first time. I won't charge you a drop-off fee, but next year it's going to be $300 for the drop-off for this ATM." All right, so we've been doing that. But you know what? It's not enough money with gas and everything that's going on. It's not enough money. So we're going to raise our fee next year going to those events that don't, let's call it cut the mustard. So we're going to increase our cost on that. So that's something that we're going to do. It was too much time and energy to go out to a location that doesn't make enough money. Now we get the drop-off fee and we get 100% of the surcharge. But if it only does 50 transactions and we charge $5, it's $250, and we got a $250 drop-off fee. It's $500 or $300. It's $550. You keep in mind, you're going to go 4 ways. You're going to go there. You're going to come back. You're going to go back to the location, pick the ATM, and come back. it's a lot of time not to make enough money. So just make sure that you look at that. Maybe you install or you do a drop off fee for you guys next year if you're doing mobile ATMs. All right. And then you got to look at one of the other things we started looking at. I went, uh, where was it? Oh, I was driving back from Alabama, and I would stop off and get gas, and I noticed, okay, what's the surcharge? So I stopped two times, got gas, looked at the surcharge at ATM, 350, 350. Okay, most of our ATMs are $3. So now I'm going to look at, you know what, I think we should start to raise our surcharge from $3, maybe go up somewhere between, maybe go to 350 or 325, because I noticed other parts of the country, they're already at 350. I think I've been lacking. So now I'm looking at my competition or other areas. Hey, I think it's time to raise the surcharge. And then the last thing is maybe I want to look at percentaging. So you might say, well, hey, Phil, what's percentaging? Percentaging is when you give them ability to take a little bit more money out, but then you charge them a percentage of what they're taking out. That works good in tattoo places and hotels. Um, where else? Hotels, tattoo places. Yep. Those that works real good. A regular convenience store, gas station, not going to work, but in those two places it works. Also, if you have apartment buildings, it'll work there. So, all right. So I just want to thank you guys again. We have our program that teaches you from A to Z. If you're interested in getting into the ATM business, we'll put the link down below. And again, we're not going to be here for next 2 Monday, or basically we meet every other Monday from 6 Central time to maybe about 6:15. We're not going to be we're meeting for the next month, but then on January 15th, we're going to meet again. So if you guys got any questions, comments, concerns, you can always ask them here in the chat. And if you guys got any questions about anything in ATM business, you can always help us out. So with that being said, Merry Christmas, Happy Hanukkah. I think it's Hanukkah. I'm not 100%. I think it is Hanukkah. Happy Hanukkah, Merry Christmas, Happy New Year. And if I missed any holidays, I'm sorry. I don't know all the holidays, but I apologize. But hey, happy holidays to everybody here in the ATM family. And you guys are the best. And thank you guys very much for supporting the channel, watching the lives, jumping on and asking questions. Again, if you have any questions, you can always watch a video and ask questions. I look at the videos and answer all the questions for you guys that are out there. So thank you guys very much. And I'll catch you at the next ATM Mastermind Live. Stay easy.